Live from Hazard, Kentucky, this is Jammin Wrestling News. Here's your news for Friday, April 26, 2019. The WWE released the following today. WWE reports first quarter 2019 results. Maintains path to record full-year performance. First quarter 2019 highlights. Revenues were $182.4 million as compared to $187.7 million in the prior year quarter. Operating income reflected a loss of $6.8 million as compared to income of $21.8 million in the prior year quarter. Adjusted OIBDA-1 of $12.4 million was within the range of guidance, $9 million to $14 million, and reflected an anticipated year-over-year decline primarily due to strategic investments. The WWE Network average paid subscribers increased 2% to 1.58 million paid subscribers, consistent with the company's guidance. Digital video views increased 15% to 7.7 billion. Hours consumed increased 23% to 300 million hours across digital platforms, and social media followers increased 12% to over 1 billion. For selected WrestleMania highlights, WrestleMania broke the record for MetLife Stadium's highest grossing entertainment event at $16.9 million, attracting a capacity crowd of 82,265 fans. The WWE Network subscribers viewed 23.2 million hours during WrestleMania week, which was roughly on par with the same week last year. During WrestleMania week, 17.9 million hours were consumed on digital and social media platforms, up 29% from the prior year. WWE Network's total subscribers reached 2 million on April 8, 2019, the day after WrestleMania. WrestleMania featured a historic first-ever women's main event starring Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. From Stamford, Connecticut, the WWE today announced financial results for its first quarter ending on March 31, 2019. During the quarter, we continued to execute our strategy and achieve targeted financial results, stated Vince McMahon, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer. While engagement metrics over the past 2 quarters were impacted by superstar absences, we believe they will improve as our talent return and we launch our new season following a successful WrestleMania. We remain excited about our future, particularly with our debut on Fox in October. George Barrios, the co-president, added, "In the quarter, we delivered adjusted OIBDA within the range of our public guidance and continue to target full year-round revenue of approximately $1 billion and record adjusted OIBDA of at least $200 million. Our primary focus is to deliver record results while investing in our key priorities, content creation, localization, and digitization." For the first quarter consolidated results, revenues were $182.4 million as compared to the $187.7 million from the prior year quarter, as the increased monetization of content as reflected in the media segment was more than offset by a reduction in live event ticket revenue and lower merchandise sales. Operating income was a loss of $6.8 million as compared to the income of $21.8 million in the prior year quarter, reflecting a decline in revenue and increased fixed costs, including strategic investments as well as higher stock compensation costs driven by the increase in the company's stock price. The company's operating income margin declined to 4% from 12% in the prior year quarter. Adjusted OIBDA, which excludes stock compensation, was $12.4 million as compared to $35.2 million. The results reflected an anticipated decline and were within the range of the company's guidance, which was $9 to $14 million. The company's adjusted OIBDA margin decreased to 7% from 19%. Net income reflected a loss of $8.4 million, or a loss of 11 cents per diluted share, as compared to net income of $14.8 million, or earnings of 18 cents per diluted share in the first quarter of 2018. This decrease was primarily driven by the change in operating performance. The effective tax rate was 26%, consistent with that of the prior year quarter. Cash flows generated by operating activities reached $6.7 million as compared to $2.6 million in the prior year quarter, as favorable changes in working capital more than offset lower operating performance. The free cash flow demonstrated a $10.1 million use of cash as compared to a $1.8 million use of cash in the first quarter of 2018, as the change in operating cash flow was offset by a $12.4 million increase in capital expenditures primarily associated with the company's workspace plan. Cash, cash equivalents, and short-term investments were $338 million as of March 31, 2019, and the company estimates debit capacity under its revolving line of credit of approximately $100 million. First quarter key operating metrics. During the fourth quarter 2018 earnings call, WWE management discussed the absence of several talent and their belief that these absences had a negative impact on the company's engagement metrics. Management believes that these absences continue to impact engagement in the first quarter of 2019, as domestic TV ratings for Raw and SmackDown declined approximately 14% and 13% respectively, and average attendance at the company's live events in North America declined 11%. WWE Network average paid subscribers increased 2% and digital video consumption increased 23%. Looking into the future, management believes the company's engagement metrics will improve with the return of its talent, the emergence of new storylines and new superstars, and as the company launches a new season of WWE following a successful WrestleMania. Moreover, management remains excited about the debut of SmackDown Live on Fox in October. The debut will mark the first time WWE will be available live 52 weeks a year on a premier broadcast platform. In addition to absolute performance, management believes relative performance is critically important as it illuminates the value of WWE within the pay TV ecosystem. In the first quarter, when excluding NASCAR's premier event, the Daytona 500, WWE delivered greater average viewership than any professional sports league other than the NFL. And with that first quarter earnings report out of the way, there is some breaking news coming out of WWE today. SportsIllustrated.com is reporting that Dean Malenko has quit his role as a backstage agent for WWE. Malenko had been working for the company in that role for the past 8 years, but it's currently unknown why he decided to leave. Also, regarding Goldust's departure from WWE, F4WOnline.com noted that Dustin Rhodes asked for a release on January 19th, and it was granted. However, there was a 90-day non-compete clause. In addition to that, Vince McMahon was reportedly against the release, but Triple H was able to talk him into it. There is a report going around that Lio Rush once again has backstage heat for rubbing people the wrong way with his confidence. Rush has responded to the report with a statement on Twitter. Lio Rush tweeted, "The fact of the matter is, no matter what you do in life, no matter what route you take, you'll always have people out there that'll try to tear you down. They'll tell you that you can't be or do something, try to stomp on your name and halt your success. The fact of the matter is that I love what I do and have been in love with the dreams of being in the current position that I'm in now since I was 5 years old. The fact of the matter is that I am a young, hungry, and humble husband and father of 2 boys who believes in himself more than anybody will ever believe in me. The fact of the matter is that I am a passionate African-American male in America who takes my passion seriously and will do whatever it takes to change me and my family's situation. The fact of the matter is that I've overcome neglect, suicide, anxiety, depression, and everything else at a very young age that a human of my current age should never have to go through. The fact of the matter is that you can beat these demons and achieve what you've sought out to achieve. The fact of the matter is that I do what I do for the people like me, for the people who struggle, for the people who fight, for the kids who dream, and for the men and women with hope. The fact of the matter is that you don't always know the facts, and that's okay." The B-Team are the latest WWE act to change brands during the 2019 Superstars shakeup. WWE.com has the team listed as SmackDown Superstars. Nia Jax had her procedure today with both of her knees. Nia posted the following photo of her recovery. She's laying in bed with both knee braces on and bandages, all around her legs. And she's got her dog in her bed, and she wrote underneath that photo, "At home resting, all went well, already walking with some assistance." And I want to wish Nia Jax a very safe and happy, speedy recovery. Speaking of injuries in WWE, NXT referee Tom Castor possibly suffered a broken ankle during Thursday night's NXT Live event in Omaha, Nebraska. The injury happened during a match between Velveteen Dream and Tyler Breeze, but Castor was able to finish the match. Man, what a trooper Tom Castor is, and I also want to send good vibes and well wishes out to his way on a speedy recovery back. In an interview with Express.co.uk, Chris Jericho commented on Dean Ambrose possibly joining All Elite Wrestling. Jericho said, "I'm sure if he wants to come to AEW, he'd be more than welcome. When you get a great performer, it doesn't matter what company they were before because they're in a top level." Ambrose was removed to the WWE alumni section earlier this week. Jericho talked about Ambrose taking a break from the business for now by saying, "It's a grind. And it's not just the physical aspect of it, but there's a mental standpoint." According to F4WOnline.com, Kevin Owens was originally going to be pushed as the number 2 babyface on SmackDown Live after Roman Reigns. Meltzer noted that Owens' character was supposed to be a guy-next-door babyface who ate junk food, had the same problems everyone else had kids, but could kick butt, and was given the ultimate modern WWE babyface finisher, the Stone Cold Stunner. However, Daniel Bryan's undisclosed injury led to WWE changing plans and turning Owens heel. Bryan was originally scheduled to face Kofi Kingston for the WWE title at Money in the Bank, but Owens was put into that spot instead despite other choices being available. Brock Lesnar recently did a rare interview with Rod Penderson, former CFL announcer for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Here are some highlights from Penderson. Saturday night's event was only the third such appearance Lesnar's ever done. He said it's not that he's reluctant to do them or do interviews, but he's been instructed by his lawyer to avoid them because he's too blunt and has a habit of saying things that get him into trouble. He grew up on a dairy farm as the youngest of 3 brothers in Webster, South Dakota. That's where he learned to fight. However, his mother grew tired of bailing him out of jail on weekends. When she'd eventually had enough, she told them, "If you guys don't learn how to make a living out of fighting, you need to stop it right now." That's where the idea of this career was first planted in his head. He starred in college wrestling at Bismarck State University and later at the University of Minnesota, where he won a national championship. It was very soon after that when he fielded a call from the WWE recruiter wondering if he'd try out for pro wrestling in Stamford, Connecticut. Because of his size, athleticism, personality, and the ability to speak, he was a natural fit, and he was signed to the richest rookie contract in WWE history. Before long, he was doing 300 shows per year around the globe, and while he was making millions, it became a real grind. However, he was never afraid of hard work. Lesnar told the amusing and disgusting story of how, one night during a show in South Africa, the Big Show had food poisoning. Lesnar slammed him to the canvas, and his opponent exploded with diarrhea all over him. In the mid-2000s, Lesnar got a tryout with the Minnesota Vikings and spent part of the season on the practice roster as a defensive tackle. The Vikings wanted to allocate him to Europe, but he'd already been there, made millions, and wasn't interested in going back for peanuts. That was the end of his football career. However, he'd also played in high school. Around that time, the UFC was getting popular, and he called President Dana White about an opportunity. However, his calls were ignored. So Lesnar hopped on a plane to Las Vegas for a UFC show. He loved what he saw, realized he missed that type of fighting, and jumped into the cage in the middle of a fight. That caught Dana White's attention, and the rest is history. Lesnar said he intentionally keeps his contracts with Vince McMahon and Dana White short so that he can jump back and forth between the two leagues. It should be noted that Lesnar was humble, respectful, intelligent, well-spoken, and warm. He showed all the hallmarks of being a small-town farm kid, and that's why he fits in so well in Merrifield. More on that in a moment. He's also incredibly vigilant of his brand and worth. He was also very interested in giving back and raising money to build a new arena. He realizes he's been very lucky in life. And finally, here on Jammin John's Wrestling News, the following names were shown in a leaked graphic in local cities for the 2019 Men's Money in the Bank ladder match. So here are the participants as follows: Drew McIntyre, Cesaro, Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Andrade, and Lars Sullivan. Once again, that's Drew McIntyre, Cesaro, Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Andrade, and Lars Sullivan. That is your news for Friday, April 26, 2019. Check back here Monday for another great Jammin' John's Wrestling News Flash Briefing on Amazon Alexa devices, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, and iTunes. Follow me on Twitter at John Caldwell, JONCOLWELL. Follow me on Instagram, The Jammin' John. If you'd like to sponsor Jammin' John's Wrestling News or your wrestling promotion, want to get your next big event out, you can email me, jzcaldwell@gmail.com. That's JZCOLWELL@gmail.com. Big shout out to Ryan Hurdle and Tony Nelson for subscribing to my Patreon. You too can subscribe to me by going to patreon.com/jamminjohn. I have free packages on there ranging from free to $7. Not a whole lot of money. I would really appreciate it if you supported me a little bit financially. Once again, that's patreon.com/jamminjohn. This is Jammin' John saying thanks, goodbye, and have a great weekend, everybody.